Hello! If you're new to my channel, my name is Rowena and I am the designer for the Sojourner Traveler's notebooks, planners, and other leather goods. Let's talk about Hobonichi Weeks. When I first purchased the Weeks for 2024, I wasn't sure exactly what I would use it for. But towards the end of January, as I couldn't decide what analog system I wanted to use alongside my digital planner while traveling, I thought, why not use the Weeks, especially since I already have it on hand. So that's exactly what I did. I used the Weeks for everything travel. Soon after we got back to our home base, which is Arizona, I realized that I really enjoyed using the Weeks and wanted to continue using it for everything else daily. But honestly, with the size of the Weeks, that's a little impossible for me to do. So I decided to just continue using it in conjunction with my digital planner and other journals. So today I thought I'd do a flip of my Weeks to show y'all how it has evolved from travel to the everything planner and exactly how I'm using it today. This is what I call a working planner. It's not pretty as how most people would describe it, but there is something very satisfying about having pages that show your schedule and your life documented, even if it's messy. I hope that seeing my not so pretty planner, it will inspire you to not worry about how beautiful your planner looks. Not that there's anything wrong with beautiful laid out planners, but let's face it, for many of us, we are lucky to be able to even read our own writing. So I say, let's embrace the mess. Let's keep in mind what's important, that you don't miss your appointments and that you have a record of your daily life, even if it's in the form of jotted lists, which in itself tells a story, your story. Let's begin. This is covered in a Getty that is several years old and shows a lot of wear. And a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video showing how I renewed the leather by using lotion. So if you wanted to take a look at that, please feel free to do so. So at the very beginning here, I don't have anything on this page, which is a tracker. And my plan is to track when I post videos or Instagram lives like I've done in the past, but I just haven't been able to backfill it. In the monthly section, I basically just put washi where I am out of the area that I live in, meaning away from my home base, being somewhere else. That's the only thing I'm really noting in these pages, because I want to be able to see clearly how much I'm gone each month. So here I noted that I was away 20 days. In December, I was away 16 days. Here I was away, I don't know, enough days. Oh, I guess I didn't list it on these two. So it just gives me a reality check of how much I'm gone. Okay, so when I first started, like I said, I wanted this to be a travel notebook, but I did backfill a little bit, which I plan to do starting in January. And the way I'm going to the way I'm going to backfill, did I say backflip earlier? Whoops. Anyway, the way I'm going to backfill is by going through my photos, because I basically take photos every day of a lot of different things. That in itself will tell a story, and so I can backfill and show what it is that I did on certain days. But we'll see what happens, because that's quite a feat. And so I did begin backfilling a little bit right around here. And like I said, I was taking this over to my trip to Texas. By the way, before I talk a little bit about that, I wanted to show you, I put these little stickers that are rounded stickers. And basically what that means is, like for instance, here it says in California, starting on the 5th until the 9th. And there's 2 here because I came back from Montana, 29th through the 5th. And then let's see what it says. Flight from Montana landed at 1:15 by 3-ish on the road to California by myself. So that indicates the time that I'm gone. I'm on a trip. When it's small like this, what that indicates is that we visited my daughter, Krista, who is several hours away. And that's why I even document that with these little circles, because in and of itself, it is quite a trip. 6 hours to and from. Here is when I started using the weeks for travel. And so if you'll notice here, I started to write what happened during these days. And then I had a little task list, and I began putting stickers, and this business card, for example, is from Texas. And so I put it in here. And I quickly realized that if I'm going to use this and put it in my bag, this is going to get very heavy very quickly. And so I decided to stop doing that as far as putting in stickers from my travels and also business cards. So from here on out, you won't see those type of things really. And here, I would do some journaling. And over here, I really didn't know what I wanted to use it for. And at that time, I didn't really use it for my list making because I felt like I had so many things on my list and I had to keep going back and forth on it. And so I wasn't going to use it for listing at this point. And so what I thought of doing is putting in what it is that I did for social media. So that lasted for a week. And here I started putting again the events that took place each day. And then here is even a prayer. So my week to me, and it always has been, a place where I could just jot down things, whatever it is that I want to jot down. It's not specifically for anything. So yeah, I started doing it for basically everything once I got back from Texas. And then here, once again, I wrote out what it is that I did during that time frame. And then here, I put a checklist of what's most important for me to do, which is the Word, supplements, no sweets. And I'm very bad at tracking, always have been, keeping track of my tracking. And so a lot of these are not even marked because at some point I stopped marking during that week. Here I see that it's just a little list of what things I could document in the weeks. Once again, memory keeping. Up here, I would put where I was and the dates, as well as put the little circles. Tracker, again, didn't work. The lists, I started putting in one of these Jibun Techo list pages, papers, I don't know what they're called. But anyway, I carry this around, and so if I need to make a separate list, I just put it on that page and then just start writing it out. Here I did a little bit of decorating just cause. I don't generally decorate, just once in a while. It's kind of fun, and sometimes to delineate a special day, but oftentimes I just don't really decorate because there's no room for it. This is probably masking a mistake. But most of my decorating is, really, there's not much of it, is there? There's washi here. I love this washi. These are little Hobonichis, which I believe I got from the Hobonichi store a long time ago. But anyway, once in a while, I'll do things like this. For what reason? Nothing really. It's just to give it a little bit of a color. And here I did get a little fancy, and probably I think I did these prior to putting any information on here. So I was able to do that. So it, as you can see, it's kind of evolves from writing out what I did that day, maybe an event or two, to writing bullet points of the things that I did. I'm trying to figure out at this point how I want to do things in here. And so this is a constant, the dates appear during my travels, and also these little circles. Smaller circle for when I visit my daughter Krista and her family. The bigger circles are just travels in general. Here I put a little quote. Here I started doing some tracking. I did really well in the tracking here, but you will see as time goes on, it's hit and miss for me. I'm just not really good at tracking things. I forget. I get so busy that I forget to track it. And by the time I go back to it, I forgot. Did I do it? Did I not do it? And I don't want to lie in my planner. So yeah. And so here we go again. Just testing out how I want to do it. Again, this is probably something that I did prior to. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe I came across the washi and I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of fun to use it. And I just used it on here. So yeah, and then I tend to put a lot of little post-it notes everywhere in these pages because as you can see, it gets kind of full and there's really not much room for anything else. Here I use a sticker sheet that has some monsters or funny little animals. And so I thought that was kind of fun. And so I just put a couple of them in here. Again, nothing fancy. This is a working planner. Basically, I have this with me at all times, usually not in my purse necessarily because I'm carrying smaller purses these days and smaller hip packs really. And so usually it's in another bag. It's with my other books and such and other paperwork. So here I started thinking, you know what, I need to kind of differentiate where my appointments are because as you can see, it's kind of hard to read sometimes, right? And so what I started doing, I'll show you on this page, it looks a little bit better here, is that I started delineating this area here for my specific appointments, okay? And then over here are bullet points of what I did that day. And then over here, these are things that, yeah, this is not exactly how I am doing it now. This information is just mishmash. I will show you how I'm doing it now. Again, here we go. It starts to wane off. I forget to check mark things. You can tell because there's a lot of empties. And I know I'm a little more consistent than that. Here I wrote out my reels and videos, probably trying once again to kind of get a feel of what I want to put on this part. Here I think, yes, I think this is when I really started to get serious. Just kidding, it's not. But I'm getting there. It's evolving to what I do today. This right here, I have a lot, like I said, I have a lot of post-it notes and I just kind of pile them on top of each other. This is during a travel in Texas. Okay, here we go. Now it's starting to really evolve to what I want it to be. So on this side, I'm doing a 1 month reading of Psalms, and I read 5 Psalms a day so that by the end of April, I would have read all the Psalms, all 150 Psalms. So I was putting that here. And in here, I was writing down a lot of my daily things that I did that day. And this becomes very important to me later on because when I don't have time to journal or to memory keep, I can look back here and see what I did that day. And it gives me a good picture of what happened, what events I was involved in, what things I did, and things like that. Here I put a little bit of journaling. here it's really becoming more for what it is today. So that would be 2 weeks ago. So really quick, I wanted to also mention that if you see different colors here, it's because I delineate certain things, like appointments are always in red. So I forgot to talk about these, so I'm just going to go ahead and insert it here. This is the pen that I generally use for planning and actually for journaling as well, because it's very handy in that it has 4 colors plus a pencil. And yeah, so this particular pen apparently is no longer available. And so this is a Pilot Dr.Grip 4+1, meaning 4 colored inks and 1 pencil. I purchased these 2 new ones because I wanted other colors. And anyway, and so I purchased 2 different ones because this one here has a nib of 0.05 and this one has a nib of 0.07. I do not recall what nib size is in here. And I mean, do you call it nib if it's a ballpoint pen? Whatever, you know what I mean. So I'm not sure what's in here because I'm sure at one point or another I probably inserted some new cartridges or new pens in these and new inks in these, and so who knows what size I put in this one. So yeah, so I got these 2 and I will link them below. I'm gonna see which one I like better, the 5 or the 7s, and that's it. Oh, here we go. It shows you here what it is that I'm really making this out to be. These are things that I have to execute that day. And most of the time it's in green because that means it's work. Here I put down what it is that I did that day, daily record of events, and I'm using black. Here I put green because this is what, here it's because my friend brought me lunch and it was at work at the studio, and so that's why it's in green. And then here, this is a running list, which really for this week, it's a running list, but it's actually, there's more lists for me at times. And so I started to carry a different book for, I don't know how to put it, just lists, more lists, I guess. These, I suppose, are lists that I start out with, and then by the end of the week, I have a whole running list in another book, and I'm using a Field Notes large for that. Here again, I put a little bit of information on what I did, so a little bit of journaling, but basically that's what it is. Here are, I would put my appointments, here my daily record of the events. As you can see here, I totally missed again, and I would remember at the end of the day and jot it down really quick. And yeah, so tracking just doesn't work for me. And here, this was last week. Yep, this is last week. So sometimes I'll put stickers prior to, but more often than not, I put them during the week to kind of give it a little bit of a color that's different from my writing, just because I want to see something fun in my pages. But a lot of times I also do it at the end. Like on this one, I think I did these at the end of the week. And then this is this week. This is a list of things that I need to do while I'm at the studio. And so again, I have another full list of what needs to be done for work. However, it's not necessarily to be done at the studio. Right now, I'm only here for a couple of days. And so I wanted to make sure I have a list of things that I have to do today. Let's see what else. And again, here I'm writing down the things that I did this morning thus far. And here I started to, instead of circles, just like here, I started to put hash marks instead, because circles mean to me that it's something that I have to do, and then I color it in once it's done. So yeah, green is because it's work, and here I put the little dots in that color, work color, but the rest of it I wrote out in black because green is running out, and so I'm using it sparingly right now because I don't have any refills right now. Yep, that's it. So that's how it looks. That's how it looks for next week. So now I want to go ahead and show you the beginning here of the notes section. In my notes sections, I'm not going to flip through the whole thing because there are some personal things in there, like my journaling of my daily, that I don't necessarily want to share because I've not looked through it and I don't know what journaling I wrote. And so, yeah, so I'm not going to share that, but these are the things that's in these different pages, like journaling, list of tasks. Sometimes I'll have a running list. I'll put it here. Oh, at the beginning, that's what I was doing until I started using the FN large, just because I'd like to see it a little bit bigger than what the weeks gives you per line. Some Sojourner information. There's some trackers. Oh, that has to do with this page right here. So I started doing this in April. I thought it was a good idea. By the way, I put my extra Post-it notes here on this, what do you call this? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I put it on here, and that way it's readily available if I need a Post-it note. And so this April, I started doing this tracking in a sense, and I was tracking different things. And as you can see, again, I just fell off, okay? And so here I was going to write one memory a day that was, I don't know, impacting or just something I wanted to remember, just one memory. And on here, it's a reminder for me to keep reading the Psalms daily, 5 of them a day in the month of April. So what happened here, as you can see, again, I totally missed all these days. And I think the issue is that I am so all over the pages here. This is what I have open, that I forget to look at the stuff in the back, because I typically only use those pages when I really need to jot things down, when I need to make lists, or when I'm journaling. And usually this is what's open on my desk. And so I think what I need to do is put another one exactly like this. Gosh, I am lost for words. Exactly like this marker. I need to put one exactly like this over here in this page so that it kind of will remind me, hey, there's something more to this. Because I know for sure I'll open this page, the weeklies, okay? So again, I think it's a good idea. I kind of like it. And so I went ahead and I'm doing that also for May. There we go. So there you have it. This is the start of May. And I need to find this page marker. I have them at home, so I'm going to have to wait to put one in that, I don't know what you want to call this. Anyway, that's it. That is what I'm doing with my weeks right now. There are other things that I'm doing with journals and memory keeping, which I've shown a little bit of the memory keeping on my Instagram, and I was actually supposed to film that next. But since it's the first of the month coming up, I thought I would do the weeks one first and share that with you guys. And so again, my hope is that you will embrace the mess that your planner sometimes can become. Again, there's nothing wrong with nice and neat planners. Some people have to work that way. For me, there's so much going on that I don't really have time to make everything neat. I just need it to function for me. And so all that to say, don't be ashamed of your messy planners. Love it, enjoy it, and keep doing it. And it is a nice way to keep record of your daily events, which is your story. So as usual, keep on documenting life as it happens, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.